Peace. What's good, family? How you doing? I've been wanting to make this video for a few weeks now, but I knew in the original context of the video, Father God, wash over some blood of lamb, Jesus Christ, please bless my tongue and everything that I'm about to say and bless the viewer. I knew this was not going to come off the right way, the way that I planned the video initially. But it had to be made. I originally wanted to call this video Why Are Black Women Single? I wanted to entitle the video Why Black Men Don't Get Married. But the more research that I did in making this video and the more perspectives that I got leading up to making this video, I came up with more solutions than I did necessarily have. Because I had the video I made, I had a conversation with Amanda, and I spoke for about 30 to 45 fucking minutes about the topic. The first half of it was cool. The second half got into like these really weird, choppy water territories. Around the point where it came to holding women accountable, that's when things got very messy. And why is that? The first half of what I was talking about with her was essentially that Black women undergo so much trauma before they even hit puberty when it comes to men. Because, I don't want to reveal too much about myself, but as someone who knows what it's like to be molested at a very young age, it fucks you up for like the rest of your life when dealing with, the opposite sex. It fucks you up for a long time when dealing with people because in your most like non-sexual, innocent, vulnerable moments, someone touched you in a way that should only be for your wife or your husband. So with that, you got a lot of traumatized people running around and they're not healing from that trauma, they're not recovering from that trauma. And it's not just molestation. Some women get by a parent or an uncle, by a cousin, by a brother, by like anyone with a heart on that can't find a place to put it in. Their perverted tendencies, sometimes it's a teenage kid who really don't know any better, who should know better, and most times the child has no idea what's really going on. So it's really fucked up territory for a lot of women. You get to the level of bullying, you get to the level of, absentee fathers and shit like that. You might have a father, but he's an abusive father. You might have a father, but he's a fucking pushover. You know, your parents got divorced or something like that. There's a lot of different reasons as to why any woman would be traumatized to the point that they did not want to date, they didn't want to marry until they have kids until they're married. They don't want to sign a prenuptial agreement because they know what can happen if they do, and you could leave them and now they're fucked over forever. They invest years of their life, just like men say, you invest years and years and years into a woman and then she leaves you. A woman invests years and years and years into a man and then he cheats on her with someone younger and he's gone. It's both ends is what I found out in my research. And there's women cheating on men, there's men cheating on women. There are women cheating on their husband despite them having like 2 to 5 kids together. There are men cheating on their wife despite having multiple kids at home. And it's not just damaging to the mother, it's damaging to the children. So even if she is like a 15-year-old, 17-year-old girl and you're trying to date her, you're like a 17-year-old, 15-year-old guy, and you're like, man, why? Because I remember when I was younger, like, I would just kind of be like, whoa, like, all these women have this chip on their shoulder. And it's like, they would rather have the chip on their shoulder of all this trauma and all this pain than just heal and recover and be the woman that they're meant to be. They're self sabotaging themselves to the point that they are so entrenched into other people's trauma, other women's pain, other women's scenarios, and they swear up and down they know everything that these women have done. And men do the same shit. And it takes a person of great character. As men, I feel like it is slightly different because it's like when you don't really know a guy, you're only just associates, you don't really give a fuck about him. It's not your problem. I remember a friend telling me about he's friends with the girl, and he comes to me saying, "I think black women are evil, man." I'm like, "Black women aren't evil, man. Like, not you can't generalize all black women like that." Like, and then he tells me the story, and I'm like, "This bitch is evil. This chick is evil. She took the baby. She took the baby down to fucking North Carolina or whatever. She had been down there for a minute, and then the cops start calling, asking. Now, dude's going to jail for a baby that, like, the mother, I won't say kidnapped necessarily, but, like, the mother is, like, purposely staying poor and on the run so that she can keep, like, her food stamps and her Section 8. Meanwhile, this dude's like up north in Jersey, like busting his ass, working hard as hell because he's paying child support, but he's trying to make a life. The baby is 1 year old. The baby's one. And there's no women who check women for that. There's very few, I should say. There's very few women who really check women for the evil, vile, fucked up shit that they do to men. And I guess you have this perspective that no, when men do fucked up vile things, you can call a brother, you could call a cousin, but you would have had to have built a good relationship with that cousin or that brother to begin with for him to actually want to defend you. You can't just have a cousin for the sake of having a cousin. Now I remember a woman got her brother killed like that, coming over and trying to jump her baby daddy or whatever, her boyfriend or husband, and the brother pulls up there with his boys, trying to, I guess, intimidate the guy, scare the guy, beat the guy up, and this girl got her brother killed, fucking around with her boyfriend. Sometimes it's on the other foot, and then the sad part is a lot of these women will turn around and go right back to the guy. What do you do? What do you? It's like the way I put it to her. The women become too big of a liability because you see all these other women doing this shit. You see all these other women cheating. You see all these women, 75% of divorces are initiated by women. And then the women who are married make content about marriage, and it makes marriage look awful if you're a guy. Like, it's so cringe, the content a lot of these housewives or stay-at-home moms make. And then it's like, you want me to pay all the bills for this shit? You want me to, the way that they talk about their husbands publicly, the way they treat their husbands publicly on camera, it makes the entire institution of fucking around with American women. Ugh. If I haven't been around the block as many times as I have been, I would understand. But the passport bros are fucking like the deadbeat dad 2.0 movement to me. So instead of solving the political drama and issues and fixing the economy back home in America and creating a better country through legislation and policy in America, you want to go to other countries to get other women pregnant and then come back home without taking care of these kids in foreign countries. You want to go to other countries and pay for pussy because you didn't want to pay for pussy in the USA. You a dumbass, motherfucking man. You a dumbass, bro. And it's like they try to go so far out their way to make American women, specifically black women, look so bad. I've been with a lot of women, man. Every woman has her own unique personality, but women are women. It don't matter where she comes from. It don't matter what part of the earth she's from, bro. And if you ever see these pictures of like the elephants or the lionesses or like, is women are women, bro. It don't matter. Women are women, and you want women to be something that they simply are not. You want women to be this evanescent, flowing source of love and appreciation and gratitude and love, and she can be that if you pour into her, if you treat her like that, if that is what you put into her, that is what she can give back to you. She's going to give you whatever you give her, and she's going to give you even more of it. She's going to give you, if you give her drama and you give her stress, in your moments of weakness and your moments of vulnerability, she's going to throw those in your face because that's what you did. It may not have seemed that important what she was going through to you because she's a woman. Who cares? Now you got to care. And now you got to feel the pain and you got to feel the burn because you put this shit on her when she either barely knew you, and you normalized her to your bullshit and you normalized her to your abuse and to your traumatic ways because men go through trauma too without healing. And now that she's no longer accepting your broken, traumatic self, you want her to magically be the bad guy, even though she was rocking with you the whole way through. Now she's the bad guy because she doesn't want to tie her horse to a dying horse. She doesn't want to tie her cart to a dying horse. You want her to forgive you first. You want her to apologize first. You want her to treat you well without you treating her well. You want her to do for you without you doing for her. She's only going to do what you do. She's only going to treat you how you act. She cannot give you any more than what you have given her. If you give her shelter, she will give you a home. You make love to her and you get her to open up an orgasm and you can last enough to orgasm after her, she will give you a baby. If you come before her, you probably aren't going to get a kid. You know, if you can make her orgasm first and then you orgasm, that's how you have babies. You can scientifically prove that, whatever the fuck you want. That's how you have babies. Get her to open up first, and then she'll give you a kid. A lot of you are doing the shacking up and the sex part. You might even just be doing the sex part without shacking up. Whose fault is that? Is that the woman's fault? Is that the man's fault? Is it both of their fault? But that's the problem. Because a lot of you aren't in love. A lot of you aren't in relationships when you're having these kids. You might want to be, you might want to, but a relationship is something that forms over years and years and years through hardship, through thick and thin, through the highest points, through the lowest moments of your life. That is what flows and creates a relationship. It's a ship, if it's a vessel. You want the best possible ship possible sailing these rough seas and these oceans. If not, if you're taking a dinghy into the ocean, you just met this girl on fucking Tinder and you're about to show up to the date with a wedding ring, that's you putting a dinghy out into the ocean hoping it's gonna sell. If she's any sane woman, she's gonna tell you no. So the type of woman that's gonna tell you yes to that, just because you want to own a woman and you want to capture a human being and have her live in your house and do your chores and fuck you on command, what do you give her then? Because if you look at the trad wives, if you look at the feminist movement, it ain't enough. You know, it's just not. You're gone all day. She's there by herself. You come home. You want to play video games. What is the real relationship for your woman? It's one thing if you're available, if you make your own money, you are your own boss, you make and set your own hours, you could spend time with your children and spend time with your woman whenever the fuck she wants to. And she can get bored of you without needing another man in her life. She just needs a fucking hobby at that point. She needs a job or something just to occupy her time. But as far as attention and love and caring and honesty and understanding is concerned, you could be slinging some great dick, you know? But think about it like this, bro. This is how I think about it. I got really good dick. I know it because it makes girls go fucking crazy. It makes sane girls go fucking crazy. That's precious. You know how many women have not had an orgasm and they're married? You know how many women have never had good sex before? You know how many women are incels or virgins? And you got some good dick? And you think it's a flex to just be giving good dick out just to anybody? You're traumatized. There's something wrong with you. You're traumatized. If you are a person who values themselves, let's say you got a block of gold, you know, and you get a block of gold, you got a knife, and everyone you see, you're just shaving off like a cheese grater. You're just shaving off gold flecks. You're just shaving off gold for people. And then you get back home and it's gone. You got nothing but dust in your hands for your family. You have nothing but dust in your hands for those that love you. You have nothing but dust in the hands for those who really show up for you. Because you're so busy trying to show off to all these other people that don't give a fuck for you. Hey, my gold is gone. I gave you some gold yesterday. Do you think you can help me out with some bread? No, I already spent that gold, friend. I'm sorry. I can't. And then it's gonna be the people that you turned your back on, the people that you did not help, the people that you didn't give a fuck about, who you're expecting to then support you. That's crazy, isn't it? But that's what you want women to do. You want women to live a life of complete and total sacrifice of all her freedom, all her rights, to have a voice, to have an opinion, to even have just basic autonomy over her body and to make decisions over her own flesh, be it her hair, be it her surgeries, whatever. Let that traumatized woman do what that traumatized woman do. Maybe that is a part of her healing process. The BBLs and veneers and lashes and all that shit, I'll never fucking understand it as long as I fucking live. I'm not attracted to it. I don't like it. I don't get it. But it looks like it comes from some place of trauma. If you're looking at all of these, I don't want to insult anybody, because last time I called a woman thick, it was a white woman I called thick. This is years ago. She got very upset and very mad about that. So I say IG model, but that's a very low bar to set. OnlyFans model, that's a certain like connotation and stipulation. But those are no woman that I would ever fucking marry. Never fucking marry. I would never fucking do that. Just one. But that's what these men are setting their standard in their bar as. These porn stars, these OnlyFans models, these fucking IG models, like this is their bar. This is where they're sending their money on. This is what they're spending their shit on. And then they're basing their opinion off of a glorified cam model. I thought cam girls went out when Andrew Tate got arrested the first time. I didn't know cam girls were still a thing, but it's just the modern day cam girl. It's like remote slavery. It's a remote cam girl. So instead of her being in Andrew Tate's basement and being worked like a slave all day and night, making videos for guys while Andrew Tate monitors his chats and receives dick pics from guys and tries to get money out of men. Now she can be an OnlyFans model at home and her boyfriend can be her pimp. You know, simplify everything. This is the world that men created. This isn't the world that feminism created because you fought feminism tooth and nail. So you cannot talk about the outcome of these young women as if you're looking at the results of feminism. You're looking at women who still need or desire to mate, and they're left to mate with misogynists. They're left to deal with racists. They're left to deal with homophobic men. And sometimes, in order to just simply survive around, because if you listen, I don't know if you ever like the research that I've done was very fucking scary, honestly. There's like a story of like a white woman discussing like the conservative like movement and how it's like it's difficult being a trad wife because it's hard to understand why your husband hates women so much. And even just kind of looking back and trying to get my words together on it, it's like the earlier story that I just kind of fumbled on with the details, with the young woman going to North Carolina and her baby. You know, it's just I kind of like fuck it because I'm just like it's like watching like those police interrogation or body cam videos, and they're like, you really fucking did this shit, like you really. It's like Steven Crowder and his. It's like you really are fucking going through this shit. Like this is real. So then you have all these black couples comparing their life to white people, Latino people, Jews. You need to compare your life to the life that you want for yourself. I don't want a white person's relationship. After the things I've heard from white women about dating and marrying white men, you know, some are great. You know, no, I would never recommend that to somebody. Especially not the stories I've heard about divestors that marry white men and end up with white men. I just wouldn't recommend it. Period. So you have all these black women that secretly want to be with a white man. Let's just be completely fucking honest. And they're comparing everything that their black man does to white people. You know, it gets to a point in which black women become more racist and more self-hating racists than actual white people. Because as a black man, you really may not have to interact with white people all that much on a day-to-day basis. Really not to any degree that would really honestly affect you. Unless you're a coon and you're actively seeking white validation and white adjacency, it's not a mandatory aspect in your life. You might deal with Indians, you might deal with Asians, like I do. I deal with Indians and Asians far more than I deal with any white person. You know, especially business wise. It's not even really a thing for me. But for other people, they want white adjacency so desperately and so badly that even when they're dating a black woman or when they're dating a black man, they don't have the empathy to understand that they are dating a victim of oppression. And they are, no matter how prideful your man is, no matter how much money he is a victim of oppression. You know, and they just want this completely artificial, fake, materialistic, vain lifestyle that completely rejects the reality of black people living in struggle and black people having a very long way to go. A very long way to go. A lot of work. If relationships are already hard work, the black family and black love and black relationships, familial friendships. So you got friends killing each other, you got family killing each other, you got black people crashing out and killing each other. I'm not gonna overblow it like it's a bigger situation than it is, but I'm not gonna undersell it like it's not a problem either. Because if a simple conversation turns into an argument, if someone telling you how they feel turns into an argument, turns into a fight, you are an emotionally immature, an emotionally stymied individual. I want to say the R word really fucking bad right now because it would fit perfectly to what I'm saying, but you are emotionally slowed down and completely inept. And it's just, I see a lot of black women treat white people like God, like they met Jesus, and they can't even treat a black man with basic respect. Don't nobody want to argue with you. Don't nobody have any interest in coming at your neck. It's real life for me. That's real fucking life. You keep coming at my neck. What do you need to address me for? Above reproach, above correction. And I'm the guy you want to marry? You don't care about my opinion. You don't care about my preferences. You don't care about me as a person. You don't respect me as a person. You don't love me properly. You don't feel like you need to love me properly because I'm a black man. And you don't even want to look like who you were born as? And you want to marry me? And I'm not even marrying the sexy ass fucking IG model purely for the basis of conviction? Cause I could slide in IG model's DM. I'm not saying she's gonna be interested, but she's already talking to all these fucking losers. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Someone needs a man in their They need a guy in their videos. I'm the guy. I'm the dude that you see. I'm not saying this to fucking flex on them. I've been told this shit. I got the fucking Rico Strong body. I got the Rico Strong porn star build. You know, I fit into that culture. I almost went into that shit. I had an amazing interview with Coraline Jewell, who is an adult actress. She asked me if I've ever considered getting into the industry. I'm not that bad. I'm definitely above a fucking 5. I'll give you that. If I'm not gonna fuck with the IG model, and I'm not gonna fuck with the wannabe fucking singer, and I don't want the fucking businesswoman, why the fuck do I want a broke girl with an attitude? I'm just being real with you. Do you want an abusive poor man in your life? Just be real with me. As a young woman, do you want an abusive poor guy in your... I don't want an abusive poor bitch in my life. I don't say bitches to refer to all women. I refer to bitch to a disrespectful ass, indignant ass queen, not queen, crane, woman, a petulant brat, a dog without an owner. Because if you have an owner, you have a master, you have some home training. It's a woman without any home training. That is a... So when a guy calls you, he's like, you got no home training. That's the insult. You act like you ain't got no daddy. You act like you ain't got no man at home. You act off the fucking rails. What the fuck am I going to do with you but fuck you and leave you? I can't have a conversation with you because if I have a different opinion about you, you're going to try to win a conversation. Because you need to be right about every fucking thing. You know, if I tell you no, you gotta go. It can't just be some discipline. You consecrate your flesh. You say no today so you can have a yes tomorrow, so you can have a yes eternally. You save up some money, you follow a fucking budget, you stick to a regiment, you can have the millionaire guy that you want. You learn about personal finance, you learn about financial acumen and business literacy. You build a great business together. You might both still have to work for a while. You save your money, 50, 30, 20. You save your money, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 30, 31. Jesus. That's not it. 33, 33. That's why I was fucking it up. I was saying it wrong. 33, 33, 33, 1. And that 1 is your fun. 1% is your fun. So if you want to have a good time, you got to increase your cash flow. But when women don't want a rich man. You want a simp. You want a trick. You want a guy who does not have a lot of money to pretend like he has a lot of money so he can live in your delusion with you. And then you guys have to live on a budget of poverty. The ultimate budget is having no fucking money. That's a great fucking budget. That's where all of you are going to end up in this bullshit capitalistic land. Capitalism was the justification to enslave your black ass. Adam Smith invented capitalism to enslave black people to justify the genocide, the ethnic cleansing, and the enslavement of all indigenous people to earth. How the fuck is capitalism going to slave your black ass? How the fuck is capitalism going to set your black ass free? You stupid motherfucker. You're the fucking cattle. How the fuck is the butcher shop gonna save the cow? How? You stupid motherfucker. So you grab yourself in this vanity, you grab both of you, men and women do it, because all black people care about is impressing other fucking poor black people. Because when you get into the circles of the people really doing something, you feel intimidated, and now you start talking shit about these people so you can lower them down to your level. Whenever someone can't meet you, they're gonna try to knock you down a peg to their level. They're gonna try to bring, so then they start hating on you. Oh, it ain't that nice. This is the nicest room you ever been with in your motherfucking life. Get over yourself. Humble yourself a little bit. Live in fucking reality. You have a lot of black people living in a complete fucking delusion, living in the American fucking dream. You're black. It's the American fucking nightmare, you idiot. It's a fucking nightmare, you fucking moron. You can be killed any fucking day, and your killer may not even go to fucking prison just because you got a fucking traffic stop, you stupid fucker. And you're worried about hating on other black people. You're worried about fucking insulting other black women. You're worried about kicking in the back of black women. You're worried about kicking. You're destroying each other. You're doing the work of the white supremacists for them. You're doing the work of the slave master for them. So when they say black people didn't evolve, black people didn't advance, black people didn't get forward, or black people have all these single, what do you say then? What do you say when you're a young black man going to become a passport bro to get a bunch of different women pregnant and then go back to America? That is some sick, criminal, evil shit. You catch an STD and you still don't wear fucking condoms. You don't even get checked out. Oh, I got STD. You still don't wrap it up. You still don't wear a fucking condom. You don't even get fucking fixed. You don't even get fucking go to the doctor and get it fucking healed. $50, $80. Like, there's a lot of shit that should just be common sense. But when you've been oppressed for 400 fucking years, what's it, 2024? 418 years exactly? I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. You got to heal from your trauma eventually. You're traumatized. So it's like any excuse, it's like at a certain point in time, you have all these excuses for why black people act the way they act in 2024. At what point in time do you admit to what you've gone through? I'm not talking about publicly. I'm not talking about politically. I'm not talking about economically. I'm talking about your own personal life. When do you, at your own personal level, say, I'm afflicted with post traumatic slave syndrome and I need to fix that? I have post traumatic slave disorder and I need to fix that. I have slave mentality and I need to fix that. I think like a bedwench and I need to fix that. I think like an alpha buck and I need to. At what point in time do you not heal yourself? Physician, heal thyself. Because that's the issue for black relationships, really, is that you have each side trying to use the other to justify their sin, to justify their vice, to justify their poor behavior. Black men use black women to justify their degeneracy. Black women use black men to justify their adultery and their divesting. At what point in time do you become the bigger person individually? Your own self. When do you stop feeding into the bullshit? When do you stop feeding into the trauma? When do you stop feeding into the victimhood? When do you take personal accountability? A black woman does not give a fuck if you're traumatized as a black man. She doesn't give a fuck about racism. She doesn't give a fuck about capitalism. She wants what she wants. A woman telling you that you need $100,000 to date her, she's not delusional. She's not a. It costs that much to have a fucking kid. It costs $50,000 to have the baby at the hospital. So yeah, it's not that far. You can't just say all women are crazy because some women hold you accountable. You can't say all men are narcissistic and abusive because men hold you accountable. The only people that truly love you, are the people that have standards and boundaries. You are not going to say that to me, and I'm not going to respond to you if you say it to me. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to hit you. I'm just done with you. Standards and boundaries. Oh, well, you can dress like that if you would like to, but my woman doesn't dress like that. What do you mean I'm not gonna dress? No, I didn't say you. I didn't say you don't dress like that, baby girl. You do what you gotta do. You know, like you representing yourself right now. You on your team, you look good. I might hit it before you go out for real. You look good. But my woman doesn't do that. What? No, I'm just saying, like my woman doesn't my woman doesn't. You do what you want to do, but my woman doesn't do that. So if you dress like that, you ain't mine. You don't belong to me. So you do what you gotta do. You don't belong to me. You see how quickly she changes. Ah, you just trying to be in control. Nah, baby, you got freedom to do whatever you want to do. You can be whoever you want to be. You can dress however you want to dress. I'm not gonna sit here and tell a grown woman how to act and how to behave. I'm not gonna sit here and tell a grown woman how to dress. You dress how you want to dress. That's on you. I'm not here for it. You see how quickly she changes her clothes. No yelling, no. Let's fucking fuck her in the dress. Before she changes, fuck her in the outfit, bro. That's all she wants. Baby, you look good as fuck, bro. You ain't going nowhere like that. Let me get real quick. Change your motherfucking clothes before you get out this motherfucker. Bring me back some food. I like mozzarella sticks and chicken wings. That's what you gotta do. You know, a lot of y'all don't got that kind of pull for real. And that's not a brag, it's just reality. A lot of y'all really ain't got that kind of pull. Cause it's like you don't develop standards and boundaries from a place of insecurity. You have to know your value. You have to know your worth. So if you're a black man and you're trying to live like an alpha buck, you don't know your worth or value because you're still living by the slave master's design. You try to have as many baby mamas as possible. You trying to get all these fucking women pregnant and shit. That's a stupid fucking thing to do. Why the fuck would you want to get a bunch of women that you don't know pregnant? What good is going to come out of that situation, my friend? A bunch of women you don't know their intentions, you don't know whether or not they even like you, and they're letting you, it's just this shit too. It's like any woman who's allowing you to fuck her without monogamy, without a commitment, without a wedding ring, you don't think she's letting other dudes fuck her too? It's like a lot of y'all are not being cheated on. A lot of you are not in adulterous relationship. You got to be married to be cheated on. You got to be married to be in an adulterous relationship. You have to be married for it to be adultery. Y'all ain't married. Y'all just forever single. Y'all just forever single. And then you happen to be slightly more committed and monogamous. And I'm in the same shit, you know. But I'm realizing that. I'm realizing that shit for real. It's like you can't get a woman to do the things that you want to do because she's only going to do that for her husband. It's not, she can give you pussy all day long. You got $40, there's a lot of women that'll give you pussy. You got multiple $40, you got $160, you got $200. They'll fuck you all day long, brother. Excuse my language. You know, if this isn't monetized, this ain't monetized. This is a solution. So I'm just trying to be real with you. So if whoever watches this and receives this shit, this is the real shit. I mean, I'm not saying you treat her like she's a bitch, because you can't. A bitch is a woman without a master, without any home training. She ain't got no daddy, she ain't got no brother, she ain't got no uncle. She had no masculine influence. That's a bitch. That's why it's an insult. It's not just a bitch because you get offended that someone called you. If you only get offended because people call you words, you're a pretty stupid fucking person. When you understand the meanings of the words, you know, someone calling you, you know, petulant is an insult. You won't get offended because you don't know the meaning of it. You know? Just saying. You know, why do you get offended by the N-word? Because you understand the meaning behind it. Why would you not get offended by the N-word? Why would you colloquialize the N-word? Because you don't understand the legacy, you don't understand the meaning behind it. So you'll colloquialize it. You use it as a term of endearment. Why? Because you're in a state of self-hatred. Why? Because you suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome. So you really genuinely think calling another black person who's also been traumatized by slavery for generations, who's also being oppressed by the color of their skin, and have their suffering normalized and have their narrative rejected by the oppressor class, you think calling them a nigga, you think that's a compliment. You think I'm a real nigga. I'm a real nigga. like Pinocchio looking ass boy. You a real nigga. You a real fucking idiot. You're a real fucking moron. Any black person that calls other black people the N word is like probably a fucking idiot. You know, like you're probably the problem. You can't turn the word bitch positive. If your female friends call you a bitch, if you're more offended at being called a female by a man than being called a bitch by a woman, you're the problem. If you are a grown ass man letting another grown ass black man call you nigga, and that's your term of endearment to sit lie your friend, he will fuck your wife. He does not like you. There is nobody on earth that likes you as a black person that will call you the N word. Nobody. Nobody. They don't like you. So you're wondering why don't they support me? Why don't they do this for me? I started a business because they call you nigga. They don't like you. They don't care about you that much. They don't give a fuck about you like that. Because they call you a nigga. They call you a bitch. They really don't. They really don't care that much for you. Because people don't use those words when they love you and care about you. So you being in a relationship with a woman who feels comfortable calling you a nigga and referring to other black men as a nigga, you need to get the fuck away from her. You need to break state. You need to rock her world. Because she's thinking that this good pussy, this average, this mediocre pussy, this $40 pussy is about to secure you for the next 18 to 20 years of your life. And that's going to be her meal ticket. That's going to be her payday. You know, this man that calls women bitches, that's your meal ticket until you die. Is you marrying him for maybe 3 to 5 years, maybe 2 to 10 years, and then divorcing him for half his shit. This dude that calls. Why are you dating misandrous to begin with? Why are you dating women that hate men to begin with? Why are you trying to prove them wrong? Are you a therapist? Are you a therapist? Why are you dating misandrous and trying to prove misandrous wrong? Why are you dating misogynist? I'm going to be the example. I'm going to be the woman that changes him. You stupid bitch. You dumbass motherfucker. How? How the fuck are you going to date this person who's traumatized, who's fucked up, who doesn't know right from wrong, who doesn't know up from down, who has an irrational hatred of black people, who has an irrational hatred of women or an irrational hatred of men, and you don't have a college degree in this field, you have not been training in this field for decades and decades and decades, you are a regular ass human being going through the same fucking thing that they're going through, and you think you mixing your bullshit and trauma with their bullshit and trauma is going to somehow set you free from global human slavery, is going to somehow set you free from capitalism and profits over people. It's not. You need a brand new culture. You need a brand new way of doing things. Instead of worrying about the places that a man can take you out to eat, you need to worry about the life skills that this man has in case these motherfucking lights go off, this electricity goes off, this Wi-Fi goes off. You need to find a man that can survive. You need to find a woman with some life skills. You need to find a woman with some patience, with some maturity, who's able to listen to other people's perspectives and opinions without arguing, and also without being completely lost within these ideas, not being open minded, but being understanding, being empathetic. You want an open minded woman, that means any fucking thought idea she's gonna process into the truth. You tell her the story of Jesus Christ, she's gonna believe that. You tell her the story of Muhammad, she's gonna believe that. You tell her Torah, she's gonna believe that. You tell her the book of Satan, she's gonna believe that. You bring her the Bhagavad Gita, she's gonna believe that. You tell her the story of Gilgamesh, she's gonna fucking believe that. Whatever fucking thing you feed her, she's gonna say, yeah, that's true. You know, that's the type of girl, any man that gives her attention, his dick's gonna be inside of her. What you want in a woman, you are too afraid to get, but it's not intimidation. They're not intimidated by these women. No man is intimidated by a woman. We'll beat your ass. Intimidation means you're scared. No. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it. I spent 44 minutes going back and forth between who's the problem, men or woman, men or woman, men or woman. But it's like women get a degree, women get some money, and they want to act like a fucking rich white slave owner, fucking her alpha buck. You know, and that's really it. She gets some money in her pocket. She gets a college degree, master's degree, doctorate, and now she's walking around with her fucking alpha buck or her white boyfriend. Who wants to be a part of that? Your people are starving. Your community is dying. Your neighborhood that you grew up in, the houses are being fucking sold and flipped for twice the fucking amount of money. The people that you grew up in your neighborhood can't afford to live there. You got entire neighborhoods going abandoned because no one can afford it, because the banks bought everything up, because these greedy ass people are coming in to gentrify the neighborhood. And you got lashes and nails, your hair done, a fake butt, fake titties, fake teeth, fake toes, your elbows fake, your hips fake. Who wants to deal with that? Who genuinely and honestly, to black women, what sane, rational black man wants to deal with a black woman who hates being black, that hates black people, that doesn't want to rock the boat and doesn't want to talk about black issues, doesn't want to talk about racism? Racism, that's an excuse. People need to go, no, man, racism is real. You need to stop getting over your victimhood because you need to become an overcomer. That doesn't mean the only way you can become an overcomer is if you have a worthy challenge to overcome. It's not overcoming if you just got to step over an anthill. It's overcoming when you have to go over a mountain. No, racism is a very real issue. Capitalism is a very real issue. But you need to overcome these things. So, in part, in both ways, these women, they're not wrong for what they desire, for what they want. They're not wrong for what they need. They have needs that need to be met. The needs isn't just, it's not just ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. You need to be loved. You need empathy. You need someone that you can genuinely talk to who's not going to validate your bullshit or enable your sin and enable your vices and lead you into hell. You need someone who cares about your soul. You need someone who cares about your mind and your critical thinking ability. You may not agree with me, but at least you're thinking critically. You may not agree with me, but at least you're using logic and rationale to make your decisions. A lot of women just want someone who isn't their dad that they can just remain a child with forever. Or they're just gonna spend all his money until they find like a succubus. They're just gonna bleed him dry and then find the new man once they're available. And then once we get to poor, you ain't gonna be there no more because you're the one that made him poor. You know, men beat women, men abuse women, men, it's horrible the way men treat women. But the way that women address men, the way that women talk to men, the way women talk about men, the way that women treat men tacitly, the way that women passively abuse you. Most black men have already dealt with that from their black mother. They're not going to live with it with you. Why do black men not marry black? The most black men who turn gay or who trans, they may not realize that they're dealing with a massive mother wound and mother abuse. Typically comes from that. Just being real with you. I'm gonna talk specifically what I know. Specifically, black men who do not date black women. It is usually the mother wound that does that, and it's not mother issues. There's a wound. And if you're going to be the type of woman that's going to keep picking at the wound, ripping at the scab, putting him back through his trauma, using his trauma against him, you're not a safe woman to be around. A lot of women think that they're great women, that they're really mediocre at best. Your college degree, unless you have a college degree in communications, it's probably useless to having a relationship. What is your degree in economics and finance going to do to heal a broken heart? Nothing. Just like a dude studying that. That's why there's a lot of fucking rich guys that get divorced. There's a lot of these women that will date a rich guy while they're young. They'll date a rich guy in their 20s or their very early 30s. And then They get tired of being neglected and abused. They get a divorce. They might get some money. They may not. And then they fuck the cabana boy. They might stay married and then they fuck poor guys after that. Why? Because they want a guy with some actual fucking character. When you're looking for a young lady or a woman, you need to find a woman with class. Because a woman with class, anything righteous that a does, a person has to do out of their own relationship with God. When a man is faithful, he is not faithful because of his woman cooking and cleaning. He's faithful because his partner deserves loyalty. Not this woman who pisses him off from time to time, drives him fucking crazy, drives him up a fucking wall. No, not that. His partner deserves loyalty. His partner deserves to be provided for, to have a shelter over her head. His partner deserves a certain type of life because he thought of what he would do for his partner before it ever came time to whoever the fuck you are. And if you decide to leave, that is still how he would treat his partner no matter what. Women need to find a man with character that when you're at your highest moment, you're not going to turn your back and humiliate me. And when you're at your lowest point, you're not going to stay there. A woman needs to find a man with character. Instead, she finds a man with cash. As long as he got money, though. Ooh, I love me a man with some money. What do you sound like? What do you sound like? You sound like a prostitute. Like, what is wrong with you? You really like, go get your own fucking money, then. Are you fucking kidding me? What the fuck do you sound? You sound like a fucking manipulative succubus. Oh, you're not gonna pay for me and my friends? Are you a real human being that lives on planet Earth? Do you see the prices of shit? And you just don't give a fuck about anybody but yourself. You don't give a fuck about the recession. You don't give a fuck about the depression. You don't give a fuck about the pandemic. You don't give a fuck about the economy. You don't give a fuck about politics. You don't give a fuck about nothing but your own fucking self. How do you expect a man to marry that? How are you gonna take care of kids? There's some women who have kids that don't give a fuck about anybody else but themselves and the kids. So you see that you grow up with this. And if you have friends, genuine friends, they'll tell you about, oh man, my dad did this fuck shit, my mom did this fuck shit. And again, a lot of this trauma starts before puberty. You might have a boyfriend in high school that broke your heart. But the reason why you're not dating men is because he acted like your daddy, because you were too young to separate your Oedipal complex. You were too young to really understand and process and heal from your inner wounded child from childhood. And before you could heal the inner wounded child, when you began finding these wounds and discovering these wounds, it was in premarital sex. Because that's the ultimate sign that you're not covered. That's the ultimate sign that you don't have any protection. You might have worn a condom, but if you're a young woman out here having premarital sex, there are no real men in your life that can guide you. You've given that up. And the dude that you're fucking can't guide you in either, because any man who really cares about you, he's honestly not gonna fuck you without a wedding ring. That's really the woman's vagina is not the cleanest place on earth. It's not. It's a lot of shit going on with the vagina. He gotta know you wash. He gotta know that your pH is balanced. You know, you gotta know how heavy you gotta see your period panties first. And if those motherfuckers are still dirty, you gotta see that dingy ass bra that you refuse to fucking throw out for some motherfucking reason. Even though you got all these other fucking bras that you still buy and you don't fucking wear. Now that's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to deal with. That's a lot to learn about women. You know, and like he has to be willing to actually learn that shit. And it's like if all you do is abuse him and insult him, and if you're not willing to put forth the time to learn him instead of assuming, to empathize with him instead of accusing, and truly being present with him instead of escaping, If you're dealing with a woman who constantly needs to be out of the house, she can't have a conversation, and anytime you do have a conversation, it turns into an argument, you need to get the fuck away from her. 'Cause she is crazy. And she's never gonna fix that shit. You need to get the fuck away from her. If you're dealing with a man and he brushes off anything that you have to say, male or woman, if you're dealing with he doesn't respect you. He's not gonna treat you properly. And like the reason why men do that is because they're very insecure. They feel very low on the social totem pole. So they have to constantly put other people down to feel superior to them because they can't just be equal with people. They can't just see people as their equal because they're not. Because even the bare minimum that they should be doing that they don't do. Even just having something in their life that they find joy in, they don't have that. All a lot of men have is trying to impress their friends, trying to impress other black people, trying to impress their family, because they want this form of love that does not exist for men, that really is never going to exist for you, probably until you have a child. And it's not going to exist inside the child unless you love their mother properly. So even if you do have kids and you're a deadbeat dad and you walk off, you're still never going to experience this love because it's a love that can only come from a mother correcting her child when she disrespects her father or he disrespects her father. It's the love that can only really come from it's deference. It's a woman trusting your opinion, trusting your perspective, a woman following your leadership, and she can't do that until you're a leader. If you don't want to get married and you don't want to be monogamous and you don't want to be a good father and you don't want to be a good husband, what kind of leader are you then? You're not home, you're not present. When you are, you're abusive. What kind of leader is she following then? And she is following your lead then. And you're constantly walking out of the door and now she's walking out the door. You're constantly cheating and now she's cheating on you. You're constantly disrespecting her in front of the kid, and now the kids are disrespecting you. Because when you're not there, now she's talking shit about you. But when you love her properly and you treat her properly, when you aren't there, she's telling, oh, Dad's such a great guy, and I love him. This is how me and your dad met. Instead of, oh, I just met this dusty ass nigga at the club, and you motherfuckers wouldn't even be here. That's the key to her treating your kids properly and like raising your kids properly too, is you loving her well. You know? And then she'll follow your guidelines for how you want your kids to be raised because she's actually going to give a fuck. Because she's going to see it as our children. She's not going to see this is the two women that you're going to come into contact with, and you have to turn her into this first woman. This first woman is our children. That's a process. Because when she's going through pregnancy, the baby is literally attached to her. It's literally inside of her body. The separation of your child and my child, that's most women. Most women are in my child, my child, my child, my baby, my baby, my baby. Because psychologically, that's what that looks like. And the physical, this is what my child, my baby. I have to protect them from you. I have to save them from you. I have to get them away from you. I can't trust you with them. My child. Your child. Your child did this today. Your child did. I don't fucking like you. I don't like this one. You got me in this bullshit situation. I don't even fucking know you, nigga. You ain't never fucking. It's like she fucking has buyer's remorse now. This is your fucking. You did this, nigga. You wanted to spit game. You wanted to get some ass. You wanted to get my ass pregnant. You didn't want to use the condom because you said the condom was too fucking big for your penis. You said it was too big. She fucked around and brought the Magnum XL. You like, nah, baby, I need the blue pack. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing at my own jokes, but like, I really hate you. I really hate you, motherfuckers, man. I really hate you, motherfuckers. I love black people. I love brown people. I hate degenerates. I hate idiots. I hate people who purposely fuck up other people's lives. I hate people who do not grow and learn. You are personally dealing with a situation and you refuse to go to therapy and you make it everybody else's problem that you won't go to therapy. Those are the type of people that I hate. And it's just so fucked up that every single African American person has to suffer from the loudness and the narcissism of what really is a very small percentage of dysfunctional black people. There's a lot of black people that are not married, but they are indeed monogamous, and they don't need a wedding to prove that they love each other. But you do need a wedding to receive the legal benefits of being together. You do need that. You do need that. You do need the wedding to unlock the other part of our child. And that's giving her security, letting her know that it's going to be difficult for you to leave her. Okay, he's out there and he's doing his own thing. Especially if you want like a stay-at-home mom or some shit like that. He's out there doing his own thing, but we're married. So there's a ring there, there's a security, there's a blanket there, there's a whole process. You had witnesses to attest that you are my man rather than y'all dating. You never met her family. You don't want to meet her family. I knew this one girl, I knew we were not going to work out because we drove 45 minutes. She said she had to get her fish tank from home. And we drove 45 minutes to her house. I sat in the car. And it's like, I didn't see anything wrong with it at the time, but we were just kind of fucking. So I didn't want to get into like this whole conversation with her mom about what are you doing with my daughter? What are your plans with her? Get back home and fuck her, get my nut off, watch anime, go to sleep, maybe have some good food. I don't know, like I don't know. Your daughter offered me some pussy. I wasn't expecting the pussy. I thought we were just chilling, and then your daughter said, "Hey, you want to fuck?" I was like, "Sure." I'm not gonna tell your mama that because I'm not gonna lie to your mom. I'm gonna tell your mama the truth, and you're gonna be mad at me for that. Now I gotta walk home. It's easier for me to just stay in the car. I knew then like we were not gonna work out because we drove so far. In retrospect, I didn't really get it, but now that I'm older, I get it. Like we drove so far, and she wanted me to. But you should have just said that. You should have just said, "I want you to meet my mom," and I told her about you and told her that we were dating, and I just want you to. You should have said that to me. Don't tell me that you get in the fish tank and you try to spring the mama thing on me. Don't do that. That shit's crazy. Versus another woman, she came, she told me like, "Hey, I've been telling my mom about you. You've been dating for a while now, and my mom wants to meet you." Her mom did not like me, but I thought it was a woman I was gonna marry because we went through the whole problem. Met her brother, met her mom. We've been dating for a couple of years. It's made sense to get married, and I realized, hey, that's not all it takes to get married. The parents have to like you. You have to like the parents as well. I wasn't really fond of her mom or her brother, you know. So you gotta like each other too. You gotta be friends. You can't just meet some random stranger that you've never known and put your dick inside of them. Are you stupid? You just met this random woman. You don't know where she is, where she came from. She could be the fucking devil. She could be a fucking succubus. She could be a fucking demonic spirit sent to destroy you. And you just gonna fuck her the first day you meet her? You gonna put a baby in her the first day you meet her? You don't know her. You don't know who she know. You don't know if she your cousin. You don't know if she your kin's friend. You don't know if she's like same thing. Like you just met a random dude. You gonna let him bust you down, bend you over, and clap your cheeks and dominate you? You got his mouth all up in your kitty cat. You don't know what the fuck he been smacking on. You don't know if he brushes his teeth or not. What y'all doing is crazy. I'm not just saying wait until marriage to have sex, but I mean, damn, at least get to know a motherfucker first. And if meeting their parents feels awkward to you, you really ain't got no business having sex no way, no how, do you? Because once you fuck them, and you need a babysitter, who the fuck you gonna ask? You want your pregnancy to be the first time you meet her parents? Y'all crazy. And it's not a black thing because this is an Asian issue, this is a white issue, this is a Latino issue. This is an issue in every community. Don't get me wrong. I only care about black people though. I'm just saying, like y'all just being a little too loose. The men, and it's the men, like the men have no sense of self value. For you to just be getting all these women pregnant, for you to just be, if it's a bad thing, then, and you're gonna ridicule a woman for having multiple baby daddies. And from a woman's perspective, a woman does have to some degree fall in love with you a little bit. Even if she falls in love with your money, she has to fall in love with you a little bit. Your personality, your whatever, your willingness to be in her presence, like, or she's just damaged, or she gets paid for sex. She's a sex worker. Some point in level, she has to like you for her to really want to. Fuck. You gotta spit some game. A lot of you motherfuckers lie though. You don't spit game, you lie. And then you get someone to fall in love with someone that you are not, and you never will be, you never have been, you're not even trying to be this person. It's not even like a lot of women, when a woman says, if you broke, say you broke, why don't you just say yes? She's still gonna let you fuck. She's still gonna let you fuck. Just say, yes, yes, I am. I'm working, I'm building it, I'm saving up money, I'm on a budget. I'm building right now, baby. I don't got it like that. Watch her pull her shit up. She really like you. Watch her pull her shit up. Psh, fine, say that. Say that then. Because if she has more than you, bro, you need to have the humility to admit it first and foremost. Because if it bothers you, you need to do something about it. You can't just start abusing her and mistreating her and treating her like shit because she has more resources than you do, because she did the right thing with her life, because she got her degree or a couple degrees. It's like you can't resent her for doing better than you are if she made better decisions than you. You need to appreciate that. You need to cherish that. You need to admire that. You need to love her for that. It's not something to be intimidated by, but a lot of you can use some fucking house training as men. A lot of y'all can use someone who understands the way that American culture works, the way that capitalism works, to teach you about investing, to teach you about saving, to teach you some basic care. And it sadly should have been your fucking parents. So I blame the parents. Because the only reason someone would grow up thinking that not being married is okay is because their parents are not married. The only reason someone would grow up thinking that having sex with multiple partners in school is because their parents did it, or their brothers, whatever generation came beforehand was doing this degenerate behavior, and the kids are replicating the degenerate behavior. That's the only reason this issue exists. So you have to decide for yourself. I'm gonna break the generational curses. I'm gonna go to therapy. I'm gonna get the help I need. I'm not in a position where I can worry about being a millionaire, but I can budget, I can invest, I can save, I can manage what I have. I can be grateful for what I have. And then you don't find this woman who's only going to love you if you pay for all of her bills. You honestly, the situation that you look for is, he's already paying his own bills. He already pays for his own house or rent, and then you can move in because he's already doing this stuff for himself. You don't say, oh, you're doing all this for yourself. Now you can do it for me too. Now you're doubling his work. And any guy that agrees to that is a simp. He's going to be clingy. He's going to be controlling. He's not going to be any guy that you actually want to be with. The guy who's actually willing to pay all your bills is not the man that you actually want to be with. That's why they end up cheating on him. They find the man that can pay their other bills, and then they find the man that can give them the orgasms. Find the guy that can give you the orgasms, and then teach him how to be the man that can pay some motherfucking bills. Show him how it feels. Show him how it feels just one day. Like, hey, there's a lot. I don't say lie to him. I'm just saying test him one day. Not your rent, not some shit like, because y'all wouldn't be going for the, I'll be going for like the fucking most for doing the fucking least. Y'all want fucking appreciation awards. Men play sports. Men, like, you can still get your ass beat on a fucking football field or a wrestling match and you still ain't win. And you gotta walk home as a loser. Women win participation awards. Oh, I did the dishes. Can you buy me a little small treat? Nah, fuck that. Nah, fuck that. Dude, dishes, fucking bitch. I do dishes. The fuck you mean? What kind of fatherless behavior? You gotta do dishes because you want a clean house. You don't do the dishes for me. You don't do the dishes for a reward. You just do the dish. We gotta have a clean house so we don't got bugs and roaches and. But if you used to living with roaches and living with mice and stuff like that, you don't care about having a dirty house. You already used to it. You already used to having roaches. You already used to having all bugs in your house. You're used to it. Why do you care? Standards and boundaries, therapy, empathy, understanding, clear communication, and being honest about what black people have gone through. Maybe educate both yourselves about it. If you don't really know what black people have endured and what black people have been through, you can't really do too much about it. So hopefully this helped out. Hopefully this solved some problems. Hopefully this at least just gave you some perspective or a good time. But this is my perspective of how to fix the situation with black love and the black community and black relationships. Um, I don't feel like I covered everything, even in an hour. I feel like there's a lot more to cover, but this is my perspective at least. I'm at least trying to solve the problem. When I write my books, I'm at least trying to solve the problem. It's not, I'm not trying to destroy anybody. I'm not trying to hurt anybody. I'm just trying to build up the black community. God bless y'all. Be well. Peace, family.